Bureau Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance. And staying connected to you around the clock because of C-Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. Hello to the streaming audience, bringing you guys in just a little bit late. Didn't have everything ready for the start, but we got you in now. So if you're tuning in via the live stream on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and or YouTube, hey to all y'all. Hi to all y'all. And feel free to comment. We can see your comments there on the live stream, and you can be a part of the show that way. And as we mentioned before, y'all text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN, 601 number, 885-ESPN. All right, here we go. Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment Madison and in Jackson, 995-1059. Merle, not Haggard, but Merle, great name. Appreciate you hanging on as long as you did and being patient. Merle, what's up?
Well, Matt, I wanted to hear what you had to say about the players. Of course, I know Mississippi State's running short on players for whatever reason, and that's bad. I wanted to be able to play the games too.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that there's already had some Senior Bowl selections come out. I think Royce Newman from Ole Miss was big to play in the Senior Bowl.
Mm.
I didn't know who from State had picked, and Ole Miss I've heard. And I'd like to hear you comment on also what kind of pro prospects Kenny Yeboah, the big tight end for the Rebels, what kind of pro he'd be in the future pro in the NFL.
Yeah. Hey, Merle, I appreciate you hanging on. I really do appreciate it. You know, that kid, he absolutely just sort of has the look. And he's the transfer in there from Louisville, I think. Didn't he go to – or no, he went to Temple, not Louisville.
Temple, yeah. Temple.
Yeah.
Right.
I got Owls and Cardinals mixed up, maybe. That's what it was. But anyway, Kenny, he's 6'4", 240, and they really use him. He just looks the part. You know, I don't know what the tangibles are in terms of strength and speed and that kind of thing. But I know they're giving him opportunities. And to me, you know, he's a great compliment to Elijah Moore the way they use him. You know, Moore is a matchup nightmare. But if that's all you have is one matchup nightmare, teams will figure out a way to kind of give themselves a shot, take one person away. But then this guy's also a matchup nightmare. He's kind of a tweener at 6'4", 240. And so there's a lot of smaller nickel safeties who they don't want him matched up with a guy this size. In terms of pro ability, you know, he has the size. He's playing in an SEC program. He's going to have an opportunity. It's just a matter of, you know, being healthy and then how fast do you run, how high do you jump, all that kind of stuff. For sure. Right.
To me, he reminds me a lot of Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
He may not have the speed that Evan Ingram had, but he's very complimentary of Ingram. And, you know, I think our offensive line is getting better by the week. You know, our left tackle is a sophomore, Nick Broker.
Yeah.
The way they talk, he could make it. After next year, he could have a decision to make about, you know, possibly even going pro early. So, you know, I know that's just one guy, but, you know, when you get those kind of talent in there, you gotta use them as much as you can and take advantage of it.
Listen, that offensive line has been really good. Maybe, you know, we talk so much about Corral and Elijah Moore and Ely and, you know, the guys who touch the football, but I was just watching them against South Carolina, and there were times when Matt Corral, he not only had time to get comfortable in the pocket, he had room to just sit back there. There was nobody breathing on him even close to it for the majority of that ball game. It was pretty impressive. And you go, well, no wonder they're able to hit some big plays down the field pretty consistently and able to kind of mix up coverages and run those crossing routes because their offensive line is giving him time. They are really good up front and playing well.
Yes, they are. Yeah, and like I said, I'm proud that they're doing what they're doing. I know they've had some letdowns, and but I'm proud of Kiffin, and I like Kiffin, And even though I'm not much of a State fan, I think if you leave Leach alone and you have some growing pains, I think Mississippi State's going to be proud of what he'll bring in the next few years. I mean, you got to give him time to get his guys in there, and also, he's got to weed out some of the guys that wasn't in his system, that wasn't meant to be in his system. So, I think Mississippi State's going to be okay with Leach as coach. I believe so.
You know what, Merle? I'm still there. I have not reached a point where I've gone, okay, well, it's not going to work. I just think it's just a matter of time with Leach at State, and it is going to work. People are just going to have to settle in and grit your teeth and grin and bear it. They're going to have low numbers here for a couple of years, and there'll be some more players leave.
That's right. There will be. Yeah.
They are running things in several different ways, differently than anything those players have ever been through. That's just a fact, and it looks bad right now. It does, but I don't know. There's still something about it that passes the smell test for me at State. I think it's probably a 2-3 year thing. But I was telling somebody the other day, Merle, they brought up this number in a conversation. They told me State has had a grand total of 9 skill players drafted in the last 23 years. Okay, so they've had a lot of linemen, and right now they really have a lot of defensive linemen that are high profile in the NFL. But when you go, okay, the last time that a wide receiver was drafted was 1996. That was Eric Moulds, a receiver. You go, and
it's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe, Merle. And look across what the foremost forward thinker in college football would be Nick Saban. He's ahead of the curve always. Well, you look up and you see right now he's building his offense differently in Alabama than he ever has. It's now all going to the pass game. Not all, but a heavy reliance on the pass game. The whole, just the game in general, the rules lend it to, if you want to make a run at a conference championship, you've got to be able to throw the ball, period. And so they looked at it and they go, we're sitting here at a school. We've had a grand total of 9 skill players drafted in 23 years. The only way to change that is to find somebody with a history of getting skill players drafted and piling up some offensive numbers with quarterbacks and receivers. Who is it? And it's, it's ugly this year. It's probably going to be ugly next year too. They'll get it going at some point, but when it does, if Kiffin is still at Ole Miss, Mississippi is going to be a state that people don't want to come to play football. I'm talking about opponents anyway.
Right. I understand. Yeah. Well, like I said, I enjoy listening to the show. I don't get to listen to it every day, but when I do, I enjoy it.
Thank you.
And I hope y'all guys have a great weekend. And if I don't talk to you again, happy Thanksgiving too.
Man, I appreciate it so much, Merle. You too. Happy Thanksgiving. Talk soon.
God bless you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So the Senior Bowl, Kenny Yeboah has accepted an invitation to the Senior Bowl from Ole Miss, the tight end. He's kind of like a big receiver. I mean, he's listed at tight end, but he kind of used as a big receiver.
Kind of like that Pittman dude at Florida.
Kind of like him, and they wear the same number. And I know that, Pittman has these highlight reels and he's got the big numbers on a team that's winning a lot, but I mean, I look at them, there ain't a whole lot of difference between those two players. Size and ability and everything.
Yeah.
Merle mentioned Royce Newman, the offensive lineman. I'm not surprised at all to see one of their offensive linemen here has already accepted an invitation to the Senior Bowl. And as you would expect, there's a bunch of SEC guys who have already accepted Senior Bowl invitations. You're going, well, Matt, why am I supposed to care about the Senior Bowl? It's not about the game, okay? What this is telling you,
invitation.
It's the invitation. If you're invited to go down there, you're probably going to get drafted.
That's right.
It's just a matter of where and when and how. So if you look at it that way, Kellen Mond, a quarterback at Texas A&M, is going to the Senior Bowl. When y'all look at Kellen Mond, do you see an NFL quarterback?
No. However, he has a chance to make a statement.
He does. You know why?
Yeah,
Because
he's going.
Well, he is, but look at the others that have already accepted.
Right.
Okay, so in all these same Senior Bowl practices, he's going to be out there performing up next to and against Ian Book, quarterback Notre Dame, Sam Ellinger, Texas, Kyle Trask, Florida, already accepted the Senior Bowl invitation. Jamie Newman, who was going to be Georgia's quarterback and quit.
Right.
He's going to be there.
Wake Forest guy.
Wake Forest guy, so he's going to be there.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Gardner Minshew go into the Senior Bowl as maybe a free agent?
Did he really? Yeah.
At all, and then plays himself into a 6th round draft pick.
Yeah.
So
and then becomes a starter.
Right. And who's to say what their organization is now? That's immaterial to the discussion.
Sure.
But the Senior Bowl has a chance for you to really pad your NFL draft stock.
Mm-hmm. LSU linebacker Jabril Cox already accepted the Senior Bowl invitation. He's good. He's the one that had to pick 6 against State. KJ Britt, linebacker Auburn's going to the Senior Bowl. He opted out. He's not playing this year.
Wait, there was a pick 6 this year against State?
Can you believe that? Yeah, jog your memory. I know it's tough. All right, y'all stick around.
If your catfish place doesn't serve fresh U.S. farm-raised catfish, throw it back. That's not Moss Creek Fish House. Moss Creek is locally owned and operated.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine.
105.9 The Zone.
All right, back with you, wrapping up hour one. We got a long ways to go. We'll be with you till 3 today. I'm Matt. JB's here. Most importantly, you are here. It is also important. Queen's walked into the studio. Homecoming
Queen.
Hey.
I just came in because Matt was yawning. He's a little tired today. I came in for a segment.
Well,
you got to keep him
get
awake.
Some of that High Point Roasters.
Yeah,
he just poured it. Matt goes to sleep really early every night. He said he goes to bed really early, kind of like our 9-year-old. And last night he was up editing some video, and so he stayed up a little later. And I can see it in his eyes. He's a little bit sleepy.
On the way to school this morning, I told Mary Lydia, I said, Mary Lydia, I did something really bad last night. And she looked at me with big eyes, and then she went, oh, did you eat something? And I went, yes. I ate an entire Klondike bar.
That's what I'm talking about.
At like 9:30 last night.
I encouraged you, didn't I?
Yeah, I need
something sweet. I need something cold. And I'm like, there's a Klondike bar. Mary Liddy didn't like them, and so just eat it. I just eat it.
And I did, and it was good. And then I was like, oh, I feel guilty. I shouldn't have done this. But I did it.
It was fine to do.
Hello, Keith. Keith says hi on the live stream. He says, howdy, Matt, from the walking track by the Tom Bigby River in Fulton.
Tom Bigby River. We were just talking about going walking, doing some type of hike up here. Had some friends that went to the Tishomingo State Park and walked to that hike. And then, what is the place? Dismals?
You got the Dismals Canyon or whatever you
call it.
That sounds inviting.
Have you been to that? Have you been to that, Jamie?
I mean, I've never been to anything named Dismal.
It is.
The pictures are cool.
It's a really cool place. Caves and canyons and stuff over in Phil Campbell, Alabama. It's really hilly up there.
I didn't think about the name Dismal's not sounding too enticing.
Hey, and get this. There's a certain time of year where a lot of people go there at night. They do these night tours, and the reason they do it is because there's all these different organisms that live on the walls of these rock canyons that glow at night.
No.
Yes, they glow.
I don't believe it.
Like little glowworms. You see them.
Who told you that?
You can see it on their website. It's all certain time of year people post pictures.
Okay.
You don't buy it? It's true.
Glow in the dark.
Yeah, that's what Jesus said you're supposed to do.
There you go. Well, he's the only one that could make those things glow in the dark. I don't know about that, Matt.
Stephen, my man, the Godfather there, the dog father, Stephen on the live stream says, good afternoon, Matt, from here. Where's here?
Stephen.
I don't know.
Stephen I know?
From Vicksburg.
Maybe he's from Vicksburg.
Yeah.
Maybe he's in Vicksburg.
And Lynn and Gail, hey to y'all on the live stream. Say hi, comment, opinions, otherwise, keep them coming. Real quick here on the Country Pleasing text line, and then I'm coming to the phones. We got a caller, especially for Annabeth. Miko says, I'll ask the same question I asked Brooks. With all of the attrition at Mississippi State, with the opt-outs and such, how hard does it become for Leach to recruit top players here in this state? Moorhead did us no favors, by the way, and that's from Miko. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard, Miko, but recruiting's always been tough at Mississippi State. You know, they've always been battling that, and it's gotten a lot better over the years. You know, State's just kind of recruiting profile in the way that it kind of recruits itself now versus even 10 years ago. It's just night and day. The facilities totally changed under Mullen. The perception really totally changed under Mullen. And I think to a degree, you kind of are still living off that a little bit. The reputation is just better than it used to be, even if you have a down year and that kind of thing. But you get 2 or 3 former players who are disgruntled and they run somebody off, maybe that's what they do. But I think that happens everywhere. It's just something you have to deal with. Recruiting is always going to be difficult at State when you're going up against the rest of the SEC. Because the reality is this, and I'm not pulling any punches on this show, and I'm never going to. The reality is this: recruiting is not just, hey kid, where do you want to play? What offense do you want to play in? And they make that decision. You know it, I know it. There's money flying around all over the place in the SEC. Yes, there's all kinds of coaches who, probably know about that stuff. There's very few that actually do it because boosters do it. There's money, there's benefits, there's this big old huge game that's being played behind the scenes. And in the SEC, they are serious about it. And it's always an uphill battle.
It just means more.
It just means more. So, are they really going to have a harder time in recruiting because of all this? I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's going to be something that is super duper apparent. I think 13 of the 14 SEC schools are always going to recruit pretty well as compared to the rest of the country. And that's just because of where we live and the conference they're in. So it's relative to me. Okay, Davini Equipment phone. The man, Gator Greg, only calling because HQ is in the house. Gator Greg, you've got the floor, sir. What's up?
Hey, Gator Greg.
It's just a pleasure to hear your voice. I won't call in anymore except on Thursdays. About this time, I'm going to set the day around that, schedule around it.
I love to hear from you, Gator Greg.
Okay. Well, hey, your Rebels, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to change it. Lane Kiffin is my SEC Coach of the Year.
Really?
And I'm hoping that we see that Mr. Wyatt gets to take it to the Liberty Bowl if they get that Ole Miss Liberty matchup.
That'd be
in
good.
Memphis. That would be, we'll sign up for that right now. I was just going to ask you, and congratulations, Mr. Wyatt, for the folks. I'm going to have to pump you up. The folks that don't know, Mr. Wyatt is a finalist for the National Sports Media Award, Broadcast of the Year in Mississippi. He's there with his partner, Mr. Neil Price, and Mr. Kellum at Ole Miss. But I'm a Matt Wyatt fan. If I had a vote, I would vote Matt Wyatt. He does a great job. When you listen to him, he's tremendous. Mr. Wyatt, I want to give you a couple of former state assistants that now at Florida with Dan, and I want you to talk about them a little bit. Brian Johnson, if you look at the Gators' offense, this is what the folks signed up for. I don't have a problem with it. The defense is garbage, and I know Ty Grantham went there. We got to pick up the defense. I want to ask the homecoming queen, do the Gators have a shot if they can clean the defense up a little bit and get a stop or two with Big Bad Nick Saban if the Gators can navigate this rest of the schedule? Can the Gators make the playoff this year? Y'all guys have a great show. Always on Thursdays. If you don't listen to this show, make sure you tune in at Thursday about 12:40. You guys have a great day. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Greg.
Love Gator Greg.
Greg is always laying on pretty thick. I appreciate the compliments, Greg.
Well, I think they could go. Don't you think Florida could?
No.
You don't?
Here's what I think I'm really confident is going to happen.
Okay.
It's really the only truly interesting storyline remaining in this football season.
Okay. In
the SEC, and that is Alabama versus Florida in the SEC title game.
Right.
And Alabama's going to beat them. And then they're going to be sitting there with 2 losses, a very good football team with a quarterback that's going to have Heisman-type numbers, but they're going to be sitting there with 2 losses. They've already lost to A&M.
You don't think maybe they could sneak up on Alabama?
No.
No?
No.
Just can't stack up.
They won't do it. And so Alabama will go to the playoff, and they'll be the only team from the SEC in there. Because Florida, it's not like Florida's going into the title game undefeated. Because if you go in there undefeated and lose to Alabama, it's no big deal. It's like, well, look, they lost to Alabama. They still deserve to be in the playoff. But not with 2 losses. So they've got
2 strikes against them before they start.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how about the Ole Miss going to Memphis?
Okay, he's saying the Liberty Bowl. In a normal year.
Are people really going to go to bowl games? Are they going to have bowls?
There will be some.
I mean, I hadn't even thought that far. But there's not going to be as many. And when you do, some of them aren't going to allow fans, right? I mean, they're going to play. Some of these bowl games are going to play, but it'll be with empty stadiums, like NFL games. It has not occurred to me to even think of you traveling to a bowl game. I just didn't. I haven't gotten that far. All your regular games
I don't
have
think
been.
you have to worry about that.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
I mean, we can't even get through the regular season. Canceled, postponed, December, blah blah blah. I mean, a bowl game might
But
not be
that's what
played
I
till
was-
March.
that's what I was going to
think
say.
Matt will be safe at home.
You think he's safe?
But that's what I was going to say, Annie, is, okay, so State
That's
to
fine.
this point has had 10 straight postseason trips, 10 straight bowl games.
You've gone
For 10 years,
10 years.
right? We've
Yeah.
been married for 12.
12.
All right, so for 10 of those 12 years we've been married, have been 10 in a row bowl trips at or near New Year's, Christmas time, somewhere around in there.
I'm fully aware.
Okay, so you're aware. So if it weren't for the pandemic, this might be the first year in a long time we don't have one for State. And we could flitter off to Memphis and go watch Ole Miss play in a bowl game, go to the Peabody and all that kind of stuff. But no,
Well,
because the Peabody didn't want anybody in there.
yeah, they do. They're saying as long as you come and stay the night, you can see the ducks. And we go every year, JB. We always go to
Right.
the Nutcracker at the Orpheum and go to the Peabody and eat dinner. And we're just opting out of that this year.
We're opting
I'm
out.
so many
gonna
others.
opt out.
Hey, but JB, you know what we're going to opt in on?
What?
More country pleasing
No,
songs.
there.
Yeah, a lot of
absolutely
sausage.
that.
Yeah.
But there are several places around here that are doing drive-in Christmas movies.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, get out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Number one
Iuka.
Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard.
No. Yeah, hate it.
Iuka.
kidding.
There's a drive-in in Iuka, and
Yeah.
then there's a place
love
in
it.
Oxford, a car dealership, and they've been apparently doing it since the summer.
Yeah,
That's
You
so
cool.
I think that would be fun.
we may
Yeah.
we may
Well,
take
I mean,
part in
you
that.
got to make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, we got to be creative.
it. Hey-
Everybody's got to be creative this year.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, San Diego.
Oh, she's leaving?
Yeah, I'm gotta go.
She's
good.
busy. She has a real life. She doesn't get to sit here and kill time for 3 hours on the radio
I
like
love
we
the
do.
radio
Well,
show.
You have a great afternoon there, young
You
lady.
too, JB. See ya.
All right,
you,
hour two coming up. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some let's see, get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour number 2 starting off here on this Thursday. Enjoyed the first hour of the show. I get a text. Finally got the live stream up and going. Hey to everybody online, watching, listening. Staying tuned that way. Mark on Facebook. Sven over in Germany watching on YouTube. Hey to y'all. Coming to your text, a few things to get to from hour 1. And y'all continue to text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. It's a good way to communicate here on the radio show. If you don't want to pick up that phone and call. I do know that anybody's ever done it, like the first time you ever call into a live radio show, the first time you ever do a live interview or something like that. Isn't it funny how the phone will ring, you're okay up to that point, and then as soon as somebody says hello, your heart starts beating faster, and you get a little short of breath, and you're like, what in the world? That adrenaline rush or something, nervousness, it kicks in. For some people anyway, that happens. I know for some it can be a little intimidating, but it'd be fine. Get that first one out of the way and then be a regular caller after that. So call us on the Davini phone, 995-1059, a 601 number, 995-1059. This is from hour one. Derek texted the show, and he said, "What's up, Matt? When will the media and people start to ask this question? Maybe the kids don't want to play for Leach," he says. He's had issues in the past with kids, and with his political views, I never thought he was a good fit or good hire for MSU. If he can't relate or recruit the black athletes in the South, he may as well resign at the end of the year. I hope I'm wrong, but something about this is not right. Keep up the good work. And that's from Derek. Derek, thanks for your text. Got it in there. And I apologize for it being a little later, but we got sidetracked and we had a good time talking with Annabeth. Homecoming Queen stopped by. She had to skedaddle. On that note, Keith on the live stream said the Homecoming Queen has definitely got to be a boost in your ratings, Matt. In my opinion, people want her take just to hear her talk. I'm telling you, God blessed her with an unbelievable speaking voice, and she just, it's one of those like, oh shucks, whatever, she's humble about it, but she needs to do this, and appreciate you saying that. I had somebody call me this morning, a friend of mine who lives in another place, and he said the same thing. Since she's got a great voice. I've tried to tell her many times to start a podcast, and a podcast that talks about the Hallmark Channel and the movies, and she could have guests and all that kind of stuff. We're still working on that. But I'm telling you, it would take off. You're talking millions of listeners. No question. Thanks for the compliment. Okay, Tiger David is saying that the Dismals there in Phil Campbell, Alabama, he said it's great camping under the rocks and beautiful. That's what I've heard. And I actually grew up not far from there. I don't think I've ever been, though. Alfalfa Paul says he took a youth group on a glow hike, and it was awesome. Three Hump Camel, quote, wait, there's money flying around in the SEC? Quote from Will Wade. Yeah, that's maybe what I meant, 3 Hump Camel, when I said, hey, look, some coaches are fully aware of it, okay, of what's going on. Make no mistake about that. Hush, hush, Matt, you shouldn't say those things. Well, I mean, it's the truth. Louvier says the best Christmas movie ever is Elf. Will Ferrell is hysterical. He's great. We love it. Our house, you may see that movie on any time of year, not just during Christmas. And Anthony from Tupelo says, one good thing about Mike Leach and his recruiting, he has always had an eye for talent. Maybe not 4 and 5 stars coming out of high school, but they are good players by the time they leave. And part of it is they bust it, man. Look at, back to kind of what Derek said. Derek was pointing out that, the theory or the idea that, there's a disconnect, like a social disconnect between Mike Leach and black athletes. And maybe there is with some. I don't really know. I haven't heard anybody just come out and say that. And I've actually heard several people, I've read several people reference political beliefs, but I don't know where it comes from because I've never heard Leach talk about it. I mean, I've missed it. But, and maybe that's part of it also. But it doesn't look like there's been like a major issue at any of the previous places. So, yeah, look, I generally think that what's the best way to say this? It would take, really, for me personally, it would take the most extreme individual in terms of political beliefs to keep me from being able to talk to them, work with them, be around them, spend time with them, like them, know them. I'm not sure that I don't quite get the outlook on life that over there is a person who thinks differently than I do. Therefore, I can't stand them. I just don't get that at all, man. I just don't get it. Like,
I'm with you.
well, then why are you here?
Yeah.
Why am I here? Then what's the point of all this? It just doesn't, I don't understand that. The whole, okay, I vote for candidate A because I think this way. You, sir, have a bumper sticker on your car for candidate B. Therefore, I will not be your friend. Now, I want you to think for just a second how silly that is. When you describe it that way, and that really goes on, when you describe it that way, think about, we're talking kindergarten. It sounds like something in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
That's how childish it all is. I'm sorry, but it is. So I hate to be this way, Derek, but I'm almost like, regardless of where some person falls on a political spectrum, if someone they are in charge of says, I simply can't be a part of your organization or this team or whatever because of that, specifically and only that, your political beliefs, therefore I can't be here. Well, frankly, okay, we'll leave then. I think we'd both be better off if you just leave. Maybe I'm the doofus. Maybe I'm the rube. Maybe I'm the naive one. But man, if people are so much more than their political beliefs. Every person is so much deeper than even their strongest political convictions. Nobody has it figured out. Nobody is right all of the time. Everything I said is a fact. I mean, you can say you don't agree. Well, you're disagreeing with a fact. So go right ahead then. What did Anthony say? He said, do these people think that Mike Leach is the only conservative-leaning head coach in the NCAA? Well, maybe so. Where are the – I missed it. Is it tweets? I don't follow Mike on Twitter.
I don't know, because I was just fixing to say the same thing. I haven't seen anything where Leach has put his political views or thoughts out there in regards to anything racial.
Yeah, I haven't either. And like I said, I don't follow him on Twitter, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I've missed it.
Well, when they canceled practice so they could do the solidarity walk through campus, I mean, he was all a part of that.
Yeah.
But I just, when all this stuff starts simmering below the surface,
it's because you're losing.
Yeah, and it's just, there's, as you would say, there's no facts to base it on. It's just
hot air.
These are rumors because we're losing, and I don't know. I just think people need to kind of take a grip of reality because, I mean, it's amazing the analogy you used a minute ago about you voted for candidate A, but so-and-so, your friend has a bumper sticker for candidate B. That occurred in a church that I served. And I had to do some mediation between a couple of people because they didn't think they could be friends, even though they went to the same church because they didn't vote for the same person. Yeah.
I'm going to bet, without even being in that realm, I'm going to bet that before it was over, the conversation dug down to much deeper issues than the political stuff on the surface.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
As the old saying is, I'm not the one that kicked the cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the other thing, too, is as it pertains to one, if you look at one coach, think about this. There are very successful winning coaches on one end of the political spectrum, over here to the left, who coach players of all different skin colors and nationalities and ethnicities and backgrounds. And they are successful and they win and they carry on and do well. And guess what? At the exact same time, there are some coaches out here who absolutely are over here on the right side of the political spectrum. You know who they are. It's clear. And they coach players of all different skin colors and ethnicities and backgrounds and beliefs. And they get along and are very successful too. So what is it? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not politics. And it never will be. I don't care what Twitter says. I don't care what media says, that what Fox News says or what CNN says or what he says or she says. I don't care what they say. And that's not it. And it never will be. It's deeper than that. Derek responded to Country Pleasing text line. He said, I get that. Matt not trying to make this a racial issue or a political show. However, he tweeted some very distasteful things about Obama when he was president. All I'm saying is it may be a disconnect with a black athlete, and if so, that's going to be a problem. Derek says, for me, being a black father, I would have some reservations about sending my kid there. Again, love the show. Appreciate you listening, Derek. And I'd like to see it. The distasteful things that he said about Obama. I'd like to see it.
The next text on the Country Pleasing text line from Anthony. The image there shows some of the history of what I believe Derek may be referring to.
Okay. So let's see. 2019, December 19th, 2019. Washington State's Mike Leach responds to Donald Trump impeachment. Quote, I'm yet to hear what he did wrong. Well, I don't know. Yeah, they went through it. I guess they never got him out of office for it, whatever it is that he did. Yeah, so I guess that's it. So it's what it is. Look, I'm just going to say it. Look, that's what this is. Anthony is saying, and I do remember this, he kind of blasted Mitt Romney at one point. And so really what it boils down to is what it boils down to is he openly said or answered a question and says that he had yet to hear what Donald Trump did wrong, therefore, is in support of Donald Trump, and that he blasted Mitt Romney at one point. The quote was, does anyone really want Mitt Romney on their side? Okay, so those two things right there mean that for some people, that's more than they can stand. It's just more than they can stand. We're just going to write that off. And that's okay. I guess everybody makes their own decisions based on their own stuff. Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. Bo in Florence. So what's up, Bo? How are you?
Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
My bad, man, because I've got a tractor running here in the back.
Attaboy.
I'm just curious. Now, I'd like to hear your perspective. You wanted people to call in, and I hear you, because it is a little anxious in there. You do worry about what somebody's going to say or think, but I'm curious on your perspective here. So we obviously, you follow Mississippi State football a lot. You're part of the broadcast program, but you don't follow the head coach, and you talk about not wanting to listen to different opinions. And I hear you, because I'm almost the same, but you've knocked down your Twitter followers, like 7 people you follow. I'm just curious what your mindset is with that. So why aren't we following the head coach at Mississippi State, and why are we only following 7 people?
No, don't hang up.
Can I hear you?
Can you hear me? I hear you fine. I hear you fine.
All right, I got you.
All right, I follow. Here's who I follow on Twitter. Here's basically. Let me give you some context for me personally. This is weird. I don't know if I've ever answered questions about my Twitter account, but Okay, so
no, but you used to follow more, and you just knocked it way down. So apparently you're tired of hearing it.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Basically, I went to get rid of Twitter and Facebook. And
agreed. That's exactly. Yeah, we're heading the same spot now. So I think I'm about to do it as well.
Yeah. See, I went to make that move. I was basically making that move. I'm about to hit delete on Twitter and about to hit delete on Facebook and about to hit delete on Instagram. And, and I talked it through with a couple of people just before I did that. And the idea was, well, look, first of all, you don't really, this is what was said to me, Matt, you don't really use Twitter for much of anything. But during your radio show, it's one way you can get information if something breaks, and you don't need to be totally void of that. Now, you can make the thing private or not, whatever, but you ought to keep an account. So I basically got rid of it, and then brought it back because I decided, well, I don't need to be totally void of Twitter. So when I brought it back, I have the pastor of my wife's grandmother's church in Houston, who I really like following him, Daniel Herringa. The Chosen, which is the
Houston, Texas, or Houston, Mississippi?
Houston, Mississippi. Yeah.
There we go.
And then Neil Price, my broadcast partner, the Mississippi State football Twitter account, my dad and my wife. That's who I follow on Twitter. Now, there's really no significance of the number. It's just those are the ones. I don't have a need or a want to follow anybody else. And what I did is right after that, and when I did it, a buddy of mine says, hey, you unfollowed me on Twitter. I said, no, I'm about to kill the account, but then I decided to hang on to it, but I'm not really using it. Or he goes, well, here's what you ought to do. He said, make a list of a few college football people, whatever, and you can keep up with stuff during the show. So that's what I did. I made a list. I don't really follow them, but there's a couple of people on the list that I look at. Now, and I think I'm on track for what you were asking me. On the other social media accounts, there was, from everybody that loves me, there was a big old blowback about getting rid of Facebook because the Matt Wyatt Media, the Radio Wyatt Facebook page has a really good, healthy, strong, big number following, and it's a place that's great for sharing video and doing, we probably get more viewers on the Facebook live stream. People are just like, look, that would be stupid. Do not get rid of that. And then, I have Instagram, but I use it so little that I haven't even fooled with it. It's just, I don't know. It was just one of those things where I'm decided.
Well, I think the question wasn't, I certainly wasn't posing the question in a controversial manner.
Right, sure.
I think it speaks to a broader question. I think there's a lot of us, I own, or I say I own them. Let's, let me miss a pavement. We'll find out who owns it, and
that's right.
That'll be the bang. But I own a few things as well, and you try to create these social media presences, and we're working through that. But it's a lot of noise. It's a lot of distraction. It's a lot of it's to some degree it's not real, and. Then on the other hand, what we're facing is, okay, so I did the same thing, and I don't have any followers, Matt. I mean, nobody wants to follow me. So, but I thought about, I'm going to delete this thing, and I just saw that out of it, and then I heard the conversation about, okay, well, or I heard you speak to the matter of differing opinions or people hearing this, and I'm wondering also as it portrays into the college football mechanism, and I see these guys, and they are opting out. And some of them, now this is a layman, I can't remember got a fantastic safety, I think, at Mississippi State.
Marcus Murphy.
Man's name?
Marcus Murphy from West Point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Murphy, out of West Point. And you got to think, okay, so, and I heard also that he's got some kids, or he's got a child that may be susceptible to some disease, so he was worried about that. But I think through my mind, this kid's got a massive opportunity out here. It's either NFL football where you can make millions, or in a lot of cases, I don't know Marcus Murphy's situation, there's not a good scenario. It's certainly not millions. And so I think through, is social media, are these things, are they promulgating, are they prompting us to think certain ways?
Man, yes.
And we're having all these conversations.
It's a detriment.
I just wondered that, and I
No
saw
doubt.
your... Anyway, I'll hang up there. I just saw and I wondered, hey, Matt Wyatt's trying to run a media business. He said, look, I'm tired of hearing the distraction. I need to pump it down, and I'm just wondering how that...
Yes.
If we punt into these kids, and then let's call it that. I mean, they're young men. They're obviously over at the boat, but they're kids. They're 18, 19, 20 years old.
Hey, Bo, the music's cutting you off here, and I really appreciate your thoughts and your calls. Hang on if you like to.
Great one there. I'll hear you on the backside.
All right. Thanks.
MRA would like to invite your family to campus for a private tour.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson. Here we go. Rolling along with you, hour number 2. Man, it's going by fast today. Hey, JB, you know how Annabeth was here for a whole hour yesterday?
Yeah.
At the end of it, she looked at me and she goes, wait a minute. It's been an hour? I said, yeah, that was 1 hour.
Yeah.
It goes by quickly, especially when you're not used to it. And that's my excuse for having Lynn hang on. Is he still there?
Yeah, Lynn and Joey are still
okay, so Joey's here too. Lynn, thank you for hanging on and being patient. The truth about it is, Lynn, I got out of order on the call screen, and that's why I jumped ahead of you. And I appreciate it. Thanks for being patient.
All right, no problem, Matt. Hey, you may have talked on this. My schedule's been crazy, so I'm only catching shows part of the time. But I wish we'd been right and they'd have played that Egg Bowl first. I'm starting to be concerned we may not get it in.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Lynn, you were exactly right. They should have played it early in the year. No question.
But here's what I'm wondering. Because I am on some message boards and stuff like that just because I like to see what the trolls are saying. But as some of these Ole Miss trolls are saying, State will forfeit now. How is that going to look? Is it going to be a forfeit by State if that game was to be canceled because of any kind of COVID-related issue? How does that work, Matt, or do you know?
Well, Lynn, here's what – let me first of all tell you what two things I do know, and then I'll kind of give you my thought on this. I know that the SEC did put in place at the beginning of the year this – limit. Okay, you've got it. They say you got to have 53 scholarship players available, which includes 7 scholarship offensive linemen and 4 scholarship defensive linemen and 1 scholarship quarterback. I know that they put those things out there. Okay, I know that as they sit here going into this Georgia game with, I think it's 55 guys available.
That's what I heard.
That all it's going to take is one more positive test between now and next week, and we know how that's all going. And one more guy, sprain his ankle against Georgia, and the numbers aren't there. Okay, so those are 2 things I know. So what I'm saying is, what I don't know, and I need to find out, can a school lobby the conference and say, look, we're below in these numbers, but we can go ahead and play because we have this walk-on player. We got walk-on players at this position. We can do this. We can move this guy. Can we get some kind of waiver to go play the game? That I don't know. Now, some schools might not want to do it. I know some schools haven't for some games, depending on the situations. I'm saying for me personally, Lynn, I don't care if we have to go out here and like dress out half the cheerleading squad. I want to play the game. If I'm a player, I'm like, Coach, I don't care who we have. Man, get us 11 guys on each side of the ball so we can at least try to play. I don't want to be a part of not playing this game. That would be my attitude if I was a player.
Me too. And I'll enroll for them and play if they want me to, but I'll be beat up pretty quick.
I dropped something on the floor this morning, and it was a big deal to get down there and pick it up. I'll be honest with you. If I had to get under center and take 10 snaps, my legs would be sore afterwards. That's how out of shape I am.
Well, we're about the same age, Matt. So, and I'm gonna say you're in far better shape than I am. I don't take care of myself now. Well, I hope we get to play it. I do.
Yeah.
And I certainly hope they don't call it a forfeit. Mm-hmm. If we don't, I just but the transfer thing and Lee ain't never had that problem before. So I'm thinking some of his guys. I think Murphy just. I think I had nothing to base this on. I think he just thinks it's time for him to go and try to make some money. He's got some family to take care of and things like that, and he may just think it's the best thing for him. I don't know. I wish him well. I think. I don't think he's making a great decision or not, but if he can get in the league, he'll be all right. But I think some of these transfers are just people that flat out, they don't want to do what they're going to have to do to be a part of the team under the leadership that it has now. And if that's the case, time.
Yeah, Lynn. There's always you do a good job of kind of understanding the context, and we try to on this show. There's nuance in all those decisions. There's always information you and I aren't privy to, but I'm with you. You know, you look at one, it's pretty easy for me to say, look, if there's a health issue here, if this is a money thing, there's a health issue, if it's a COVID related thing for you or your family, far be it from me to judge what the kid, decides.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
But if this is a playing time thing, if this is a deal where I'm 2/3 through my season, I decide I don't like my coach. If this is I'm mad because of the way I've been talked to, and that's why
then, a little thicker.
Now all of a sudden I don't have respect for that,
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't either. I mean, it's a tough physical game, and it's mentally and physically tough, and it takes being. If you can't be coached, maybe you didn't need to be there in the first place.
That's right. Thanks.
I enjoy the show, Max. Keep up the good work. We'll holler at you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the call in. Thank you. Joey hanging on for a long time as well. I appreciate it, Joey. What's up?
Hey, Matt, if you're leaving school over political differences, life's going to be real hard. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, because I can assure you, probably, I think if we look back at the history of it, and I don't want to be political, but if we look back at the history of it, about every other person you deal with votes differently than you. So, I mean, and I these tweets of, like, I wonder what Donald Trump, or what has he done wrong? I don't know how that shows any support of him. Yeah. I was on jury duty one time, and the guy just was not guilty of what he'd been charged with, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he was a dirtbag, if I get honest about it. The smirk on his face just rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, they need to get past this stuff, because I don't see where the man said anything in the slight. If he said something racial, then you need to prove it. That's a terrible accusation to make against another individual without any proof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a harmful. Sometimes the people that say that kind of stuff, especially without any more truth, they got more weight, more hate, and bigotry in them than any racist could ever dream of having.
Joey, whether you're talking about it kind of from an overall perspective, you're not talking about someone specifically. So I would actually agree with you on that. I think that there is, behind the mindset of, people talk about cancel culture, so we're going to cancel somebody or some place because of their support of somebody I don't support. Okay. So, and there are examples on both sides of this political aisle, right, Joey? Like you have people that say, well, never go to Starbucks because they sent money to some, I don't know, terrorist organization or something like that. And well, that happened. And then you got people go, well, don't ever buy anything from over there because they wouldn't, because they, had a Donald Trump sign in their front window or something like that. Those things, those takes, that cancel culture, it actually comes from a mindset of I hate anything different than me. Here's what's really sad about it is it's unhealthy for the individual. I think the healthy way to look at really the world is, I don't want, how about this? Try this hypothetical statement on for size. And this is for Matt and JB and Joey and Derek who texted and Resdog and Anthony and Thibodeau and everybody. This is for everybody. Try this hypothetical statement on and see how you feel about it. What if I say this? I don't want to go be on a football team full of nothing but conservatives and nothing but conservative coaches politically. Now, Hold on. Joey, what if I also said, and I also don't want to go to be on a football team with all liberal players and all liberal coaches politically. I want to go to a team where there's a mix, a little bit of everything, where frankly, the political stuff that we have on our mind is not at the forefront. Number one, I want to be around people that are looking for reasons to love other people. I want to be that kind of person, so I want to be around that kind of person. I'm looking for every way possible to love somebody else, not hate them. I'm looking for every way possible to accept somebody else, not to exclude them. And if I'm reading the Bible, which I do, if I'm reading the Bible, read the verses, read the language. I got red letters in my Bible. Y'all know what that means. Jesus said it. He said, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Man, I'm not a smart man, Joey, but the word all, that means everybody.
It's an inclusive pronoun, Matt.
That's right.
I'm not real smart either, but I know what parts of speech are. And I also, it's just, like you said, if our relationship's not any deeper than our political stance.
Absolutely.
Then
Absolutely.
You said that earlier in the show, and you may be right. That may be a good reason for us to part company anyway, because
Exactly.
we're just both being really emotionally shallow.
Right.
If that's the case. And we've thrown light.
Stick around.
I don't know about you, but every time
Farm
the weather...
Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing Sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
a lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first.
Quarterback play better than him. And he's right here, right now, online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right. Back with you, rolling right along. Roll on. JB, you remember Alabama, the band?
I do, man.
They had that song, Roll On 18-Wheeler?
Yeah, I do. No, it's actually Roll On 18 Willa.
Hey, speaking of that, so you remember I told you I posted on Facebook on my personal page the other day, and it said I was sitting here at home, I hear big trucks on the highway. It's pretty much a constant sound here 24/7. Then I said, recently I visited the Nanawaya Mound, Indian Mound. One of the most striking things was the silence. No cars for miles, nothing. Silence. I could hear my own heartbeat, and I liked it. There were several comments. Well, Chicken Hawk commented on that. You know what he said? He said, it's nice, but you wouldn't get your sausage if a 18 Willa didn't bring it. He signed off with, just saying.
Just saying.
And then a chicken emoji, and then an eagle emoji, because I guess they don't have a hawk one. That boy ain't right.
No. Gonna have to get his grain elevator checked.
We're gonna let's see if it's going all the way up. Is that what you?
Them chickens are hungry though. Now look at him.
Look at him. Now I say,
boy.
Today is National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day. At JB, I've been doing the research and editing and getting going on this documentary about legendary coach at Enterprise High School, L.J. Davis.
Right.
And in talking to some of his players who played for him on those great teams in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they all mentioned certain rules, and one was he absolutely would not tolerate smoking, and the other was he would not tolerate kids drinking Coca-Colas.
Yeah, soda pop.
Would not have it.
Yeah, take the wind right out of you. Take the wind right out of you.
Yeah. Today is also National Play Monopoly Day, and I wish I'd seen that when the homecoming queen was here, because she tells funny stories about how her dad would always beat them in the Monopoly when they play, like they go on vacation, they play Monopoly and stuff, and they come to find out he'd been cheating all those years. He cheated.
Sounds like my wife.
And then I'm thinking, but did he really cheat? Because I could absolutely see him winning every game without cheating.
Oh, yeah. Well, my wife does that with board games and cards.
Cheats?
She's going to make you think she's playing fair, but somehow, some way, I know she cheats.
Why? Because she wins?
Well, I'm not going to go into that. But, yeah.
But, yes. So she beats you, and therefore she's cheating.
Well, yeah. She says she's just better than me.
I wonder if she's right about that.
If I got any friends listening, I'm sure they're nodding their head.
Let me
ask. Yeah, I love Monopoly. That was probably my favorite board game. Besides, I love the game Aggravation.
Aggravation? That's a good one. I like Clue. We play Clue around here, Mary Liddy. Hey, Mary Liddy got introduced to Battleship at school.
Oh, yes.
And so she came home wanting Battleship. So we got it recently, and We played it a few times. It was a lot of fun. And we had the biggest
Remember
laugh.
the commercial? You sunk my battleship.
Yes, exactly. Look, the kid is like, she got this from me, and it's something I'm going to have to coach with her because
What an incredible competitiveness.
Well, let me put it a different way.
Okay.
An unhealthy competitiveness. Okay, and I have always had it. You can ask, some friends and teammates and stuff. There are times in my life that because of that competitiveness, I have acted like a different person. Mm-hmm. The blood gets boiling just right because you may be getting beat and you don't like this or that, and I quit even attempting to play intramural sports in college. I quit church softball. I quit church basketball. I'm a quitter.
No, I don't think quit's the right word. You chose to walk away.
I had to get away from
like
it.
Jim Brown.
I embarrassed myself the way I would act.
Yeah.
When people didn't act right.
Yeah.
When people weren't as serious about this contest as they should be. When things weren't happening, there ain't but one way to approach it.
Mm.
And so anyway, I made a fool of myself several times in church softball games, and yelling at people, and get ejected from a couple of.
I know exactly what you speak of.
A couple of church league basketball games, get ejected from those. I'm like, I'm making a fool of myself out here. And anyway, she has a little bit of that, like, can't handle losing to me in a board game or something. And I would say that very seldom do I just like openly let her win, but there are times when I can see it coming, and just to avoid the tears, I'll make sure things kind of swing back her way every now and then. Now, recently we was playing this battleship game, and I won the first one. It's not a big deal. She covered it up pretty well. We start playing battleship again the second round, and I'm having a real hard time finding her battleships. And she's sinking two, and now she's sunk the third one. She's fixing to win. I'm like, good, she's winning. But I was actually trying really hard to make a showing in this game of battleship. I couldn't find them. And as soon as the game was over, cute little thing, 9 years old, bow in her hair, she's smiling, batting those eyelashes, big blue eyes, looking at me. I said, way to go. Good job. You won. And she said, I moved my battleships around a little bit. She couldn't help it. I said, you moved them during the game? And this little wry smile that was kind of a mix of, I'm really proud of myself for doing it because I won, but I also know that I probably shouldn't have.
Right.
And I mean, and she gets this from her mother. Her mother was this way as a child. Could never, ever do anything wrong without just openly admitting it before anybody could even come to her about it.
Yeah.
And she looked right at me and said, I moved my battleships around.
Yeah. That's when you tell her, don't grow up and do bad things because you're not good at being bad.
That's right. You're going to feel guilty in a minute. But she had to win at all costs now. Little squirt. She is incredible. All right, Thibodeau's hanging on. I got like 2-3 minutes here. Thibodeau on the Davini Equipment phone. What's up?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yep. What's up?
All right. Back when you were having the conversation about cancel culture, you said something that I was so glad you said, and that is the word all in reference to what Christ said.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely important, and, actually, my wife and I, we avoid places that don't show diversity. Like, we want to be involved with different types of people, different types of thinkers, different types of brains, because the message that I have for people, if I just share it with people that already think like I do, I'm basically spinning my wheel.
Yeah, like, what are you here for? Absolutely.
Another thing I wanted to tell you about whenever you said that, I was listening to a sermon last night that was kind of directed towards college campuses, but it's good for everybody to hear. And that is, cancel culture has now become what peer pressure used to be to people like me and you.
Mm-hmm. How about that?
It's applying a type of pressure to you so that you will do what I do and you agree with what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're no longer going to associate you with you or be your friend unless you do.
Mm-hmm. How about that?
And I think that's the extreme danger of it is not just the division, but the pressure that gets placed on people who haven't developed into thinking for themselves.
Right. Well, but here's the thing about that. It's counterintuitive. That cancel culture approach, the motive behind it, Thibodeau, it's counterintuitive. You know why? When people all of a sudden
it divides.
Well, it divides, and when it does divide, a lot of the people that get divided go off by themselves. And when they get off by themselves, you know what they start to do? They start to think for themselves. And I'm going to tell you something. You got two big groups of people on polar opposites of this thing. They don't want people thinking for themselves, Thibodeau. They don't want you thinking for yourself. There's a lot of them that don't want you reading your Bible and praying and thinking for yourself. But when you get off by yourself and you do it, it is amazing the difference that it makes with you and with me and thinking for yourself and understanding not everybody's like me, but it's good that not everybody's like me.
Yeah.
And I think it's counterintuitive.
I do too. And one thing I was saying just a second ago is, the message that I want to tell people about is a message of acceptance and love, because that's what I've been commanded to do. I don't have to agree with you, but I do have to love you.
Absolutely.
And if I don't do that in a diverse situation, it's not going to go anywhere. And the only way that this rift gets healed is if we're able to tell our stories to different people.
Perfect, Thibodeau, as the music starts. You're exactly right. It's about being obedient to the Heavenly Father. And if you do that, you're going to be okay. Because if you're only operating on how you feel and what you think, you're going to screw it up every time. Great call, Thibodeau. Thanks. Hour 3 coming up. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams Summertime in Mississippi, country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence or order it online or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
At the Zone 1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, hour 3 is underway with you on this Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. I'm here. JB's here. Most importantly, you are here. Lots of ways for you to join us and be a part of the show. You can text on the Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing Sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Here it is, the number. The text number, 885-3776. Got it? 601 number, 885-3776. Text me. Love to hear from you that way. Hook texted us, and he goes, I'm driving down the road, and I can't pass an 18 Woola without thinking about Chicken Hawk. That boy ain't right. I see. Call me on the Davini phone. Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. I'm talking mowers, ATVs. Mr. Deer Hunter, ATVs, mowers, excavators, skid steers, tractors, orange ones, blue ones, a little bit of everything. The Davini phone, 995-1059. Call me. We'll chat it up there. 601 number, 995-1059. I realize that today there have been several callers who, our conversations and your thoughts kind of ran right up against the commercial break and may have cut the end of it off. And so to everybody, I apologize. I guess a good host, if a good host were sitting here, they would watch the clock, understand, and get you started so you got a chance to finish. But so I'll take the blame on that one. But the calls have been excellent, and I do appreciate those as well. The College Football Playoff Committee is agreeing to hang on to the current schedule of playoff games for now. And this is according to Bill Hancock, he's the father of the BCS. He's big time up there. Really nice guy, by the way. Down-to-earth guy. He's big time. He's the executive director of the football playoff. And he's saying right now we're on schedule. And in my experience of following this stuff over the years, even back to the BCS era, it is a deal where they're not going to make any changes and that kind of stuff until they absolutely have to, right up until the very end of it. And in the meantime, any comments, any answering questions about it are going to be towing the line and positive, and that's what you always get. And that's the way it should be, really. Okay, so that's the context. I mean, there could be things being talked about behind the scenes of moving this stuff that we're not privy to, but they're not going to say it publicly, or shouldn't anyway. College Football Playoff Management Committee yesterday agreed to keep the playoff on the current timeline. They're going to name a national champion if this goes off as planned on January the 11th in Miami Gardens, Florida. I wonder if Chicken Hawk says Florida, F-L-A-R-D-A.
No, I think he probably does it like this. Florida.
Well, he says Forest. He doesn't say forest. He says forest.
It sounds like he's saying farce. Like it's a farce, right?
That's right. That's what it sounds like.
And it kind of works for the word, too.
Well, I didn't.
It's a farce the way he says farce.
That sentence did not have a period on the end of it, by the way. There's a comma, because then it says, unless the coronavirus pandemic forces a schedule change. That's according to Executive Director Bill Hancock. And that last part, that last little qualifier, we all understand that. It can change at any point. We know it. We're used to it by now. Just give us a week heads up so we can buy up all the toilet paper. The College Football Playoff Management Committee, which is made up of the 10 FBS commissioners and Notre Dame Athletics Director Jack Swarbrick. Say that 5 times fast.
I bet he can't shoot basketball.
Swarbrick. Boy, they kid him. They also determined that if a semifinalist is unable to play because of COVID after Selection Day, which is December the 20th, the selection committee would not choose a replacement team. Now, you tell me what sense that makes. And I was looking through this. That's the only problem I had with it. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Maybe you're like a staunch, fundamentalist in regards to awarding anything in college football. You got to earn every last bit of it, and you're so happy that you have a 4-team playoff finally that you don't want anybody getting in it for free, effectively. But what I'm saying is this is a pandemic. It's their word, not mine. Pandemic. When's the last time you had one? 100 years ago. That's how rare this is. It's a pandemic. So, You're telling me, College Football Playoff Management Committee, you're telling me that you're going to have 4 finalists named, the 4 playoff teams named, the 2 games of 4 teams, name them December 20th. And after that, if one of them pops up and can't play because of COVID, you're not going to replace them with somebody? That don't make any sense at all. None. During a pandemic. Put number 5 in there. Well, they can't play because of COVID. Get number 6. Go down the line. Find me a 4th team and play the dad blame game. Give somebody a chance to go play.